love, and it's difficult at the same time, is the collaboration. There's so many people, but you just got to trust that the team, everyone has their eye on this. We want to go forward. And so you can't be the one you just can't. You have to go, you have to do it. You have to be really flexible.
She is a Tony, Grammy, Drama Desk, and Outer Critics nominated vocal designer.
She's also a vocalist, lyricist, and composer who has worked on Broadway and toured internationally.
AnnMarie Milazzo graces us on today's episode. My name is Nancy Magarill. I'm a singer, songwriter, composer, performer, graphic and web designer.
And I'm Peter Michael Marino, and I'm a writer, producer, creator, performer, and educator.
We are New York-based artists you may or may not have heard of.
And we are here to introduce you to other artists you may or may not have heard of.
All right, so we now know you are the busiest woman in show business, right?
No, we all are, aren't we? Because we all didn't work for 5 years.
I know. I actually have a day gig, so I was working the whole time during that craziness.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Gosh, God, I wish I was. Where did you work?
So I have a day gig where I do graphics and web design.
Because you're super talented, and I only do one thing.
I want to talk to you about it because when I met you ages ago through Ben Butler.
Yeah.
And I think we were in his apartment or something. And I don't even remember why I met you, but you were around the scene anyway. And you were playing in town. We were all playing the same clubs. And then I sort of disappeared. We all kind of went our own ways. And the next thing I knew, you were doing all this work on Broadway. All of a sudden I heard that you were the go-to person for doing Broadway vocal design. And both Pete and I, the first thing we were is, what does vocal design really mean? Because there's sound design, there's, arrangements. What is the difference? What is vocal design?
I would say the difference is, it's what I call it because I feel like vocal arranging, I don't even think that's a thing. When you arrange something like if you arrange music, you could put the chorus here, you could cut the verse, you could add things, you move things around, you just flip the bridge, you could do anything. Right. To me, that's arranging. But when you design vocals, you're kind of like a lighting designer. So you're dealing with texture, you're dealing with plot, you're dealing with inner monologue, outer, plot pushing. You're literally designing the journey of the song.
Yeah.
So and you get to pick and choose textures and colors, and you could create worlds. You could just move plot. It's designing. So I just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll catch on, because I truly believe that's what it is. Because I have arranged songs, I'm oh, this could have a but that's not what that is.
Right.
So that it's designing. It truly is.
And are you working with the arranger? You're working together?
No.
The way it...
No. Basically what happens is a composer, from my experience, it's so individual, but how I work is the composer sends me the song and then I read the script and then I ask many questions. How many colors do I have? Meaning, who's in the cast? Are they plot pushing? Is it the world? Do I have 5 men and 5 women, typically? So I break it down, usually 2 altos, 2 sopranos, 2 tenors, 2 baritones, and then I'll use other ones for counter. And I do all my work around the song, and then orchestrators and arrangers will do their thing, and then I'll move my stuff. But that's how I've always worked.
And you're able to do that before you know who's cast?
Yeah. And then, so it lives in kind of this compartment over here. And then when you set it on actual people, you oh wow, the timbres are different, and then I can weave and change, it goes in stages. There's definitely stages. Oh, and someone has to do sheet music, of course, get that out of the way. But it will always move and change because I like to know the sounds that I'm working with. You don't know who you have, right? It's kind of like naming the baby before you see it. I'm always, oh, you're not James, you're David, So,
I can thank you for having me not be able to get the song Dreamer in Disguise, which is sung by Tommy Ross in the off-Broadway revival of Carrie, not in the original. And that song works because there's very little underneath it. Is that correct? That is a very straightforward. I don't even know if it's guitar. Maybe is it guitar that's underneath?
Gosh, I don't even remember. I haven't heard that in so long. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Individual songs in different environments need to function certain ways, and it's whatever I work from the script. It's whatever the script needs.
Storytelling
yeah,
is a very big part of your
huge, huge.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's just, oh, that sounds cool.
And where do you
Yeah,
think
right.
that love and respect for storytelling came from?
Yeah, do you have a theater background?
Well, I love stories. Who
Mm.
doesn't? I have a theater. My parents,
Accountants.
yes, my parents always took me to theater. I was that kid that, my grandmother and my mother used to read us stories all the time. I love stories. I just have a love for storytelling. And my dad used to do theater, and I would be that little 6-year-old girl on the back of the theater while he directed. And
Ah,
I loved watching stories come to life.
Oh wow, I'm always jealous of people who grew up in a theater.
me too.
Right? I'm always like, damn, I
Yes.
wish I had that.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't see my first Broadway show until I was in junior high school, and I was raised in Queens. I mean, New York City was
Oh,
so
wow.
close.
Wow. I
Yeah,
was from Vermont. We would drive in the car in the station wagon Woody, and we would come to New York. Yeah. So
and that's because your dad is a director, or your dad directed
he
things.
he he was the high school music teacher, and
Oh,
he did
Oh.
all of the plays and the musicals, and they were amazing. And I would sit and just watch the stories come to life.
yeah.
And then I got to memorize everyone's part. And so hopefully would pray for someone to be sick, and I could step in during rehearsal, and he would have me, medal mantra, you're all Donza today, you're Duncan. I would know all the part, I would like, yes, Dad.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
How often did you get to do that?
All the time.
Oh, that's so great. What an
Yeah.
experience.
So,
It
did
was
you
fun.
get cast in his when you were in high school? Then, did you get cast in his show?
Yes, I did. And
Uh-oh.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it would had
right?
to be like, oh, you're the daughter. And
Yeah,
I'm like, no, no.
nepotism.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I used it. No, I did. And I also, he didn't cast me in other things, but I really wanted it. The family explosions, I can remember.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, I'm like,
Oh, were you
Dad,
really mad if you didn't get the part you wanted?
I was devastated. I was devastated. But
Oh,
he's like, but you learn. Tough break, kid. It's showbiz.
yeah.
But how come you didn't go into that part of show business? You did not decide
Well,
after
you
high school,
did.
I
You're
want
a
to be a musical.
performer.
You
Oh,
know, I no, I actually did when I first came to New York. I did a show called Bright Lights Bid City.
oh,
Oh, wow.
sure.
On
Yeah,
Broadway?
No, it wasn't on Broadway. It was off Broadway,
yeah.
and it was at the New York Theater Workshop, and it was wonderful, and I had a great time. But I realized doing that because I also had bands. I
Me
loved
too.
performing in bands,
Yeah.
and so I was like, well, wait a minute, 8 shows a week, and I can't do anything else. I can't. And I loved it, but it wasn't for me because I wanted to spread my wings and travel and sing and do. You're locked to the thing. You can't do
Yeah.
anything else. You just can't. Eight
And
shows a
it's
week.
not your voice. You're not articulating what you think about. Like that's what happened to me. I went to a theater conservatory and I came here and I started writing music. And I was like auditioning for stuff that I was like, I don't even know if I want to be in this. I found myself just auditioning to get things
Oh,
instead
really?
of like, I realized when I started writing songs, I wrote one song that I went, oh, wow, this is really cool that I can articulate this on my own terms. And I was
Yes.
like, right. So I was like, I want to do that. And so I wanted to do my own music. And then I just got into that. I still do acting stuff and I still love that. But it's something about having your own voice and being able to articulate what you want.
There is that. But I loved it all. I wish I could have split myself in two. And I love singing those songs. I mean, I love
Well, you
musical
have such
theater.
a
I
great
love the song.
voice.
Oh my God. Well, thank you. But like, I just use it's different tones, different sounds. But you get one life. You gotta like, I mean, if I could, I'd split myself in 20, but you can't. But yeah,
What is your passion? What's the favorite thing that you love to do more than
writing.
anything?
I love writing. I
Yeah.
just love writing. I love writing stories. I just love them. I love writing musicals. I just love writing. Just it's so cool, right? We get to write. What?
Yeah.
It's so
I
hard.
agree.
It takes so long.
It's really hard and it takes long, and there's gonna people like hate what you do or love what you do, but you just have to like keep going forward because that's it. That's all you got. You're like, oh, you didn't like that story, you didn't like that song. I did. Oh well.
Right. Who cares?
Do you plan on
Can't
writing a
care.
musical?
I have written a musical and it goes up off Broadway this summer.
What?
This is
What? Tell
Joy, right?
us.
Is this Joy the
Yeah,
musical?
yeah, it's called
Oh,
Joy. Yeah, and Yeah, so I'm really excited about it.
Oh my God, of course. Congratulations. I don't know
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I was focused on
No,
Carrie.
but yeah, let's go back to Carrie. Those
Ha-
No, let's
Yeah.
talk about
tell us about
Joy.
Joy.
Joy is it's just a beautiful piece. It's a true story about this woman named Joy Mangano who invented uh pretty much invented her way out of a better life. She invented this thing called the miracle mop, but she also invented many, 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 many other things. But it's
Yeah, there
really
was a
not about,
movie about her
yes,
with
Jennifer
Jennifer
Lawrence. And
Lawrence.
yep.
Yeah.
And what I loved about the story is like it wasn't about the things that she invented. It was just about the way that she put her family back together because it's just truly a family story. And I met Joy herself, and gosh, she was such an inspiration, and I wanted to do that story. So Ken Davenport wrote the book, and I work with the greatest people that just hold me up and say, "Hey, look at this, do better, do better, do better, do better, do better," and you just got to rewrite it, rewrite it, rewrite it. But yeah, we're getting close to the first rehearsal. Eek!
Is that what you were workshopping?
No, it's we workshopped, but then of course you see, and then you have to rewrite. You just have to continue to write it until I don't know, till it
Yeah.
freezes.
Till opening night, till it
Yeah.
freezes 2 nights before opening.
Yes, yes.
Are you also doing your own arranging?
I'm doing all the vocals. Yeah,
So you're writing the lyrics and you're writing the music
yeah,
and you're arranging the vocals.
yes. And I'm working with this genius musical supervisor named Andy Einhorn. Again, just surround yourself with the greatest, smartest people, and they'll hopefully push you up higher.
Yeah. Now, are you
Yeah.
in it as well?
No,
Oh,
no.
thank
8
God.
shows a week.
No.
She's not doing 8 shows a week.
I can't do that.
Easy.
I can't. Yeah. I wish I could, but no. Betsy Wolfe is playing Joy. She's an
Yay,
amazing,
we love
beautiful
her.
performer. Yeah, and Jill Abramovitz is playing Toots. I'm just really, really excited about it. So we'll see. Who knows?
That's fantastic.
The shadow knows.
What is that like for you? Because I've been in that situation, so has Pete, where you have to sit back and you have to be able to take in the whatever criticism changes with things that you love or things that you're like, the director likes, but you don't. You're like, what is that like for you?
Killing
Are
your
you
darlings,
right?
murdering your
Killing
babies.
or making them
Yeah.
better? Like, how is that process
Yes,
for you?
you would think it would get easier, and it's I guess because I feel like as writers, this, we're very emotional,
Yeah.
and we get you. I've learned to gracefully not get attached, but it still hurts. It's like no, and everyone pulls out the trunk songs, but yeah, the babies died.
Yeah. Save
died.
it
They go
for
in
the
a trunk.
cabaret show.
Cabaret show. We all got them. But what I love, and it's difficult at the same time, is the collaboration. There's so many people, but you just got to trust that the team, everyone has their eye on this. We want to go forward,
Right.
and so you can't be the one you just can't. You have to go. You have to do it. You have to be really flexible.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
especially going into, you said your start rehearsals next week, right?
Yes.
So like a lot of stuff's going to change just from seeing it on its feet, right? What is Betsy bringing to it? What are
Yeah.
everything? The director, the designers, even like
Everything.
every designer is going to bring something in and go, oh, I could do this thing here, and maybe if you dropped out the
Yeah.
music here for a moment, and then you're like,
yeah.
now I got to reorganize all that and.
Yeah, I guess that's the fun part, right? It's like
Is
cooking.
it? It's a fun
guess.
part when you like it all, but when you're being told you have to take this great closer for Act 1 and make it the
And-
opening.
Yeah. Oh,
What?
it's true. Or cut it and write something else because
Right.
the plot change. But I'd rather do that than so many other things
Yeah, that's a
that I've
great
done in my life. So I'm okay with this bit of being uncomfortable, because there's this.
How long have
knows?
you been working on this piece?
Oh my God, I've been working on Joy for 6 years.
That's
Ah,
about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 years.
How did it start? How did this come about?
It came about where I was doing Deaf West. I was doing Deaf West Spring Awakening, and I met this
I
producer named Ken Davenport.
Love that, by the way.
Oh, I did too.
Oh
I
my
loved
God, that
that. I
was
just
stunning.
worship those people. I just have so much. Oh, I loved
Yeah.
every inch of that. And I met Ken Davenport, and I was trying to get Once on This Island up with Michael Arden because we had dreamed this project. And Ken was the only one that wanted to do it. So I became friends with Ken. And I was rehearsing one day, and he came up to me and he said, "Do you write?" And I said, "Yeah, that's Yep, I do. And he said, "Would you be interested in pitching songs for a musical named Joy?" And I was like, "Absolutely," because I wanted my name in the ring, you know. And I guess I won. And we have forged a wonderful collaborative relationship. He's very collaborative. He is also the book writer, so it's like, wow,
That's
it's
fantastic.
crazy. Yeah,
Well, had you written musicals before that?
I have on my own many. They're
Yeah.
all. You can see the wall. My wall of tears is over there.
It is. There's so much heartbreak and joy
Joy.
in writing and putting our own stuff up there. It really is. It's such like people don't understand how much it takes of us to do this work and then putting it out there and whether it goes, flies or not. Like it's just so emotional.
Well, I think that I'm hoping that at the end of life, your entire body of work is what will be your legacy, not just one or two. Like so. I hope to have this beautiful scope of work. Hopefully, that has affected people in positive ways, and
Yeah.
so I don't think of it as one thing. I'm trying to think like about the whole picture, the whole body of work, and how work changes your work because you grow and
Hopefully.
hopefully, and you don't want to keep doing the same things. I get a lot of people, some not a lot, but sometimes, "Oh, we want that spring awakening sound," and I'm like, "Well, then I'm not your man. I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
did that. I want to
Yeah.
do something else."
Yeah. What's right for this?
Yeah, like I don't even understand what that means. But yeah, so I'm excited, and you have to put yourself out there. You get one life. That's it.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
you
What's
can't be terrified.
what's your desert island record? But it has to be a musical.
Oh, I like that.
Uh, it has to be a musical.
Yeah, like
Oh,
yeah. What's the musical that you don't mind listening to every day for the rest of your life?
honestly, a little night music.
Oh, that's a
Ah,
good choice.
I don't know why.
Is it? I mean, it is.
A weekend in the country. I could say, I don't know. I listened to that as a kid over and over and over, and I love how all the parts fit together. That whole weekend in the country when there's six different people singing different things.
oh, that
I
kind of
love
makes
it.
sense,
Yeah, right. That
I,
makes
right? That
sense.
so makes sense of why you
I
do what you do.
love it. I loved it. It's
And
crazy.
have you've seen the film it's based on, the Ingmar Bergman film?
I've seen the film. I've never, ever, ever seen the stage production.
What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know because I have such a love in my head. I see it in my head. I don't know. It's all in my head, staged and beautiful and perfect. And I don't know. That's the musical series I could wake up on every day, a little time. I could
I
wake up to
love
that.
that song. Yeah.
Great
Wow.
musical.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I
what's
fell in love
yours?
with The Most Happy Fella, the Broadway revival. I think it was Lincoln Center,
Yeah.
probably 25 years ago. But the device was it was just two pianos, right? That
Oh,
was
wow.
it. And that was the first time I was exposed to that show. And I just became obsessed. I saw it all the time. And maybe they had a cast recording, I don't remember. But then I heard like what it's supposed to sound like with an orchestra.
Oh,
And it was so
different.
disturbing. Yeah, it was really disturbing. I was like, does it need all this? It doesn't need all this.
Did you guys see the Sweeney Todd at Barrow Street with like a clarinet player and a piano player? Like,
No.
oh, it was a production that came from London. I was thrilled. It was just eight. It was done with eight people, a piano player and a woodwind, and it
And a pie.
Wow.
lacked for and a pie. They gave you pies. It lacked for nothing. It lacked. Oh, it was thrilling. You didn't need anything, but it was.
Do you
It
remember
was
who
my
was in
favorite.
it? Or
I
was it
feel
No
like
another?
one.
Norm Lewis was. I feel Norm Lewis is. I didn't see. I can't remember the
Oh,
person that I saw do it. But it was genius, and it had
wow.
no
Yeah.
sound. No, everything came from vocals. It was genius.
That's cool. That's so up your alley too.
Yeah,
I know.
really. I mean, I've known
I
you for half
loved
an
it.
hour and I'm like, this is
Right?
so up your alley.
When
Oh,
you're
yes.
when you're creating all of these arrangements, are you like thinking in colors are you
Yes.
seeing scenes or what like is
Yes.
it
It's
all of
all
it?
color. It's all colors and all textures all the time.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I do
Well,
believe
interesting. Go ahead.
everybody
Sorry.
I
Oh,
do
after
believe
Debbie.
everybody sees that. I do believe that everybody
But
sees
yesterday
music.
we talked to a painter, and she paints in music. As the way she puts it is, I it's music. I hear music. I see
Yeah.
music.
And
You're like the
I
peanut
see
butter or
colors.
jelly.
and her work is
Wow.
very textile driven. She does these really amazing paintings with textile and textures like that. So it's really interesting. And I know your girlfriend, I believe, is a painter as well.
She's a genius painter. Yeah,
Yeah.
Marlena. Yep.
Yeah, so I think you
We
guys will
all over my
really
house.
be
Yep.
interested in her. She's somebody that when we're going to be taking this is actually our last episode before we take a little bit of a summer break.
Oh,
So I'm going to be reaching out to her after the break because I would love to have her on. Ty Lee had
okay.
told me all about her as well
Oh,
and her
yeah.
studio.
She's
Yeah,
great.
You know what's
yeah,
interesting, Nancy, is I'm noticing more and more that the people that we talk to, and Anne is clearly one of these people, that like hardly anyone who's an artist who's on this podcast does one thing.
yeah. Well,
Everyone,
most artists do a lot of things.
do they? Do
Yeah.
most artists do a lot of things?
I think
I think
so.
they have to. I think art can be very expansive, and I think artists are inspired by other mediums. I mean, how can you not be?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go to a museum, if you go to a museum, you see. I mean, you'll see a lot of musicians, you'll see a lot of paint, but or reading inspires melody. I mean, I literally think, and economically, I don't know an artist who can only do one thing. Because how can you afford that? How you
Well,
I
you know
mean,
well, now for sure.
I had to spread my wings. I was like, I need to do many, many things in order to keep my head above water.
mm,
This is the truth. I have to sing to make I have to do many, many things. Thank God. I feel like that was a blessing.
but I feel like there are film actors that is what they do. They are actors in films. There are Broadway theater people. I mean, Bill Timoney is a good example of that, right? Bill does theater all the time.
But he does ADR. He does all this other stuff. Like he uses
That's
his
right.
talents.
That's right. Yeah.
I think-
Yeah.
I think if
But like
somebody,
Tony Bennett, painter, Joni Mitchell, painter. I mean, there
Yeah.
are a lot of. I feel like it's part of the same source.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really do. Not
And
that you're as amazing at the craft because you haven't, but I just feel like it's part of this. It has to be part of the same source. Has to
yeah. And I also think that if somebody's making a great living at film, for example,
be. Yeah.
we might not know their other talents they have. I think there's a lot of artists. Sharon Stone is a good example of that, who's always been an actress as far as we've known her, right? Well,
Yeah.
now she's got all these paintings that she's putting out there. So I
Yeah.
think that it is natural. Maybe not everyone does it, but I think it's very natural for people that are talented to have all sorts of talents. When I lived in Paris, there was this singer I knew. Her name is Mila. And I was kind of like trying to figure her out. Turns out she is this unbelievable painter. So she's got this whole singing career thing going on.
Wow.
And then she's got this whole painting thing going on. And it's just kind of like, it was mind blowing, so brilliant,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you just don't know. And maybe we all excel at one thing more than another. But I think that it's just natural.
Mm.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, look, you, Pete, you do.
I know, but I wonder why, like, it literally was like a light bulb going off very recently, like in the past month. And I was like, everybody on our show, and it's always artists, does like lots of stuff.
Well, maybe
I'm
we
wondering
also
if I'm-
gravitate towards them.
I'm wondering if I was like, I'm very good. I mean, so like, I'm very good at being the audience. I'm very good at seeing like what the outside sees. So like, that's why like companies will hire me to like, can you turn this jumbo mumbo into something forward facing or public facing? Like I'm good at kind of distilling things. I'm not good at
Yeah.
talking today, obviously, but and why did I start talking about myself? There was a reason.
Why not?
Because artists do many things.
Yeah. That wasn't
Including
oh,
talking
man.
about ourselves. That is definitely something that
No,
artists do.
I'm totally
It's
I'm
okay.
totally backwards.
I'm going to have fun editing this one
You're going to
today.
have a great time or not. I mean, you left in one of them with Jason. I was like, "Oh, she left that in. Great. It was great." Yeah, well, it's gone.
I know.
It's gone. There was something.
Well, I know you have limited time, so let's talk again about your run because I want to talk because we're probably going to air this as you're getting your run ready.
Oh, great.
What is the run of your show?
It's at the Laura Pels Theater on 46th Street. It's attached to the roundabout, and it previews, I believe, June 11th, and it opens July 24th, and it only runs through mid-August, so it's more previews because we're trying to get the show right before reviews. But yeah, so it's beautiful theater,
So
Laura Pels Theater.
what is the process for you guys? So you're putting it up at the Laura Pels, and then the
Yeah.
hope is that it will be picked up and moved, or it'll be extended. Like, how is it? What is the trajectory for you, do you think, for
Well,
this?
the trajectory is if we get the reviews, then they'll move it.
Transfer.
Right.
They'll transfer it. So if it doesn't, then I'm hoping it goes into some sort of, it can be rented, or I really don't know. It will have a life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
family show.
Shows tend to, ideally a show will play on Broadway for X amount of weeks.
Hmm.
And then it's like, I'm doing air quotes, then it's allowed to tour, right? Then
Right.
it's
Yeah.
able to be like a thing. It's proven, and it can go on tour. And if it goes on
It's
tour,
proven.
then the next thing you want is that it gets published.
Right.
And then once it gets
licensed.
published, then you want people to be licensing
Right.
the property and doing it at regional theaters and all kinds of
Yes,
places.
please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we would
Yeah.
like that to happen.
You were doing a record as well?
I did, yeah. I did a singer-songwriter record of the show because I don't know. I thought that would be. I am a singer, and I'll never. I wanted to hear it the way in its purest form,
Yeah.
because when you give it out to the orchestrator and other singers, it'll take on an amazing life of its own, but it's not the genesis. And since that's who I am at heart, I did that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's called The Shape of Things. So it's on Joy Machine Records. And that Joy Machine Records is just a coincidence.
I was going to
Crazy.
ask, like, what?
It's like, what? What is your record label? Yeah, Sonny Palladino's labeled, and Brian Usiber. And so it was kind of crazy. I was like, Joy Machine Records, and it's for the musical joy, but it's called The Shape of Things. And Ben Butler is all over that record.
Love Ben Butler.
Rich Mercurio, Andy Einhorn, yeah.
It's a great group of musicians.
Oh,
That's like all the guys we came up with,
yeah,
sort of.
all the cats.
Yeah, the cats
I mean, why
in
not?
town.
The
Yeah.
greatest players on the planet.
Ben is
Jeff
a
Allen.
very heartfelt, sweet guitarist.
Love Ben.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
interviewed Rachel Sage, and that's how I met Ben, because he
Oh,
played with Rachel.
Of course, that's right. How's
Yeah.
Rachel doing?
She's good. We had a really
Wow.
nice chat with her.
You'll find
yeah.
out in 2 weeks when you listen to our episode.
I can't wait. It's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
She's
Yeah.
out touring. She's
She's
really
Of course she
out
is.
there.
She's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
What Broadway shows are you looking forward to seeing, or what have you seen that you are looking forward to seeing again, and why?
I loved Betty Boop. I'm working with David Foster on a musical, and that's his show.
Yeah,
And so
heard
I
it
was like,
fun.
it's fun. Susan Birkin and David Foster wrote beautiful music. The show is amazing. I saw The Outsiders. I loved Maybe Happy Ending.
I'm going to that next week.
Gypsy. Oh, it's so wonderful.
Yeah, I can't
Did you
wait.
And Gypsy was
Loved
Audrey's-
it.
Andy Einhorn. He's the music supervisor for Gypsy. But that show, she blew me away.
Me
Well,
too.
the whole cast.
Yeah. I felt like I
yeah,
was seeing it
so
for the
many.
first time. It was so I've seen a lot of renditions
Same
of
with
that.
me.
And there
Every
were things I
rendition.
heard. I actually went to check afterwards. I'm like, did they rewrite this? Because I'm hearing things I've never heard before. It was really interesting, just the way that she portrayed her. I thought was so
So amazing.
yeah.
I loved Hell's Kitchen.
Me too.
There's not really a show that I'm not going to go, okay, I'm going to find many things that I'm going to love. Because I know how freaking hard it is.
yeah.
It is
Yeah.
hard to write. There's no recipe.
Yeah.
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 have you done any teaching?
I love to teach. I honestly don't have, I would want to put so much time. I would love to, yes, I have. The
What
answer
would
is
you
yes.
teach?
I would teach what I love to do. And this is my favorite thing to do is grab a group of people and then we all make a vocal design. We all do it. And
Ooh.
yes, and because everybody can do it, they just don't know, people who don't even know music, and it's like you can take 16 people and everybody can create their own part, and just putting it together or saying like, go, just sing any note. It's all 16 people at once, go, and then make it pretty. And everybody will find a way to flip that chord. And it's like, takes a minute, but it'll become a beautiful chord. It's just fun. It's fun things like that I love to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to pull a Pete now because Pete does this every episode. He gives someone a job to do. And
Okay.
I think that what you're doing would work with also what Tylee does sometimes, where he takes people in group classes,
Yes.
where he has all these people come together in a group. Imagine like the two of you, like you working with the design aspect of it and him working with the vocal coaching aspect of
Yes.
it. Could be
Yes.
real. I would take that class. I would do that in a heartbeat.
We talk about it constantly. Like, we should do this, Annie. I'm like, yes, but like just organizing that shit is so hard. It's like,
I mean,
wait,
I can't even get a lesson in with him right now because his schedule is so crazy. So I don't even know how you would do it.
I know. He's so booked. He's
Yeah.
so booked.
I
But
was-
what a voice. Woo.
Yeah. Oh my God, doesn't he have an amazing? Well, you guys did the East Village Opera Company together.
Yeah. We just naturally just fell into place.
Yeah, he has a gorgeous instrument.
Oh my God.
Did you
beautiful.
ever do vocal arrangements for him or vocal designing for him?
For Tylee? No, I never did. Nope.
Oh.
We just
My
never got-
assignment, and I don't call it a job, Nancy. I call it an
I'm
assignment.
sorry.
Oh,
I
I feel like
folded.
what you're talking about with the voices is like a drum circle without the
Exactly.
drums.
Is
right?
exactly what it is.
That it's like it's creating like a vibe and a movement and emotion, and it's bringing people together, which also sounds like very much part of your thing.
It is.
It's like
It's exactly my.
it's
Exact.
it's corny to say harmony, but there is you like the elements to all be kind of in harmonious. Why am I a podcaster? I can't form sentences. What's
That's right,
happening?
we're
Well,
tired. We're all-
that's what we did with Once on This Island. Once on This Island, it did go to Broadway, but originally we wanted it to be in the park. That was the original concept, and we were going to have like this, like a text chain. Come see a happening, and it was created. I
cool.
designed it. They didn't even need to have one instrument, not one. It's all vocal design within an inch of its life, and just if the actors would have drums, and that didn't work out. But that was the big dream of that. And I'm grateful it went to Broadway, but it wasn't conceived that way. I really wanted it to be a happening.
That could have been
Is that
done
because-
Shakespeare in the Park.
I was going to ask,
Yeah.
is it because
Yeah.
you saw Hair when you were a child?
I loved Hair.
Of course you did.
I was Chrissy in Hair.
Oh, you
I
were
had to
Chrissy,
go-
Frank
I
Mills.
was Frank Mills. I wanted Sheila, but I was Chrissy. Yeah. But
Was that because your father cast you as Chrissy?
no, this was when I came to New York and I got some job, and we went to Europe with a one-way ticket and no money, but I was Chrissy and I lived.
I
Wow.
found my way home.
I did. I found my way home. You guys have been wonderful.
Well, thank you so
You
much.
too. We can't wait to come see your big Broadway
Yes.
show.
Yeah,
Please
that's
come, please come,
exciting.
please come.
We
Yeah, very
definitely
excited.
will.
Very exciting. Yeah,
I'm excited for you both.
I was
love
totally
this podcast.
geeking out over your credits
My goodness.
and experience. It's such a broad range. It
I
just
also walk dogs. I do that really well too. I used to be a dog walker. It's one of my favorite jobs.
it's something to fall back on.
I
Yeah.
think about it all the time. It was so peaceful. I just had all these Archie, Maggie, Maslin pugs, Cooper, Bates, Cordelia. Those are my dogs. I loved them. I used to walk by the water. I loved that job. And I could do it again.
I did that in Paris, and I had a dog that was the most rambunctious puppy that was about my height, and I
Oh,
almost
God.
lost him. He was so rambunctious and jumped, I had to give him up. I was like,
Wow.
I'm going to lose your dog if you let me continue to walk him. And so I can't do it.
Yeah, I know
I
it's
love
stressful.
them.
It was for me. I
Yeah.
loved that job. It was so quiet by the water. Anyway, we do a lot of things.
Yes. All right. Thank
All
you
right,
so
you guys.
much. Have
Thank
a good
you for
one.
this.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Keep up the great work. Hey, thanks for checking us out. Links to today's guest can be found in the show notes.
Don't forget to subscribe, like us, rate us, and tell all your friends about arts and craft.